Soup day, soup day, soup day. Soup day. I said at the end of the last stream we'd be doing some test printing today, and that job is actually waiting, but priority is the other work. Sorry, feeding the printers. And I checked the DOSA calendar. We have the calendar in our manager page that the printers put requests in for when their next job is expected to start. That gives me a heads up, and as it happens, 7 of them are all landing in the next few days. So this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I am a chef, or whatever you want to call it. Paper for 7 people. And we've got enough clips and string to do, a good thick batch at once, but I'm going to need to do at least 3 separate batches because, a couple of reasons. If we do too many sheets at once, they stick together, but also there's not so much room. There's enough room to hang like 60 double sheets all at once. I'm going to wait till those dry, take those down, do the next batch. So I'll be doing this at least 3 times. Once this morning, once this evening when I can take those down, and once again tomorrow morning. So for me, the weekend schedule is set, absolutely set. And Sunday afternoon, when they're all dry, I got to slice them all up, get them ready, wrap them, package them, get the blocks ready, and out to all the different printers. How long does it take paper sheets to dry? They're not so bad. They're thin pieces of paper that hang up, and they do dry. We close the doors. We'll talk about that when we're hanging it up, if you remind me again later. We close the doors to let them dry slowly. Even though the humidity now is 70-something, my God, it's 70-something. But even though the humidity is that high, they still, if I just hang up a sheet of paper, it kind of dries straight away. And we don't want that because it'll become wavy. So once I hang them up, the doors get closed for the first 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Then once the bulk of the moisture is out, we can open the doors and they will finish off. And then we just lightly put them in a stack to lightly press them. So I better get going. As you know how this works, I've got to do the cooking first. So the mic, I don't have the mic clipped to me today. It's on the wall here. So I'm going to turn the camera around, point it towards the stove, and you guys are on your own for 5 minutes or so while I do the cooking. The humidity is here. We have a meter here. And in the next room where we hang it, we have an electronic meter. And in the printer's room, they have an electronic meter on the wall. It's a clock, and its temperature, and its humidity. We have separate readouts. There's another one somewhere here. Yeah, there's another one behind me up on the wall. We have another one as a double. We have 4 readouts of temperature and humidity up here on the 3rd floor. We are serious about this. Anyway, you're on your own for a few minutes. I'm going to walk over there, do some cooking, and I'll come back when we're ready to start brushing. I got a bunch of questions to ask and a bunch of things I was supposed to talk about, so we'll get to that. Excuse me for a few minutes there. Looks all okay. Let's go. mix today is 3 liters. We're making 3 liters and we're making it at what for us is max mix. There's 60 grams of Nikawa, 60 grams of glue in each liter. So I've got 180 grams of Nikawa glue in 3 liters of water. Some of the water is put in a separate can, and that's a separate, pan. And that's heating up separately. I'll melt the alum first in that pan. So we've got 180 grams of glue and then 15% of that in alum, which I think is 27 grams of alum. For those who are counting. The glue part of it has been soaking overnight. We left it overnight to soak. I left it overnight to soak. Without that, it just wouldn't dissolve easily this morning. It would take too long. This part of it, the glue part of it, we want to bring to about 50 degrees. The glue part should come to about 50 degrees. The smaller pan, which is going to dissolve the alum, we're going to bring that to a boil. Then turn off the boil, throw in the alum so it dissolves, and then mix them together. We want to end up with a mix around 50 to 60 degrees. This is the part actually where I screwed up a bit. When I did this here on sizing on the Twitch stream a couple of weeks ago, I got to this point. I dumped the alum in, mixed them up, went chop, 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 and then quickly brought it into the bin here and started sizing. It was no good. The sizing that time, I got reports from the printers that it was pilling up, that the sizing was too weak. And clearly I didn't let it simmer enough. So today, just give me a few minutes. We have got to let this simmer for 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. I have no idea what the chemical reaction is between the alum and the glue, but clearly there is one. And I guess if you think about just normal soup, if you're making vegetable soup, whatever, you dump something in, high 1 second later, serve it to somebody, you can't do that. soup, obviously, to have, we can just taste this kind of thing when you mix, you mix it together, simmer a while, mix it together, simmer a while, and then serve it to somebody, and the taste is quite different. And although I don't understand the chemical thing that's happening at the bottom here, these ingredients clearly need a bit more time to blend together. I think 3, 4, 5 minutes should do the mixing, but last time I pulled it off in a few seconds and I paid the price, or our printers paid the price. This is something else absolutely that's on the list of things waiting to be tested. If we ever had a test laboratory here to try and figure out the best way to do these things, this also is one of the things on the list to be tested. When you make your sizing, use it immediately, wait 5 minutes, wait an hour, wait 6 hours or something, and see if there's a discernible difference in the strength of the paper. And I'm almost certainly there will be. At least the first couple of minutes, I think, are quite important. Okay, 1 or 2 more minutes should do it. For the drill, for those of you who don't know what this is, this is the glue that we use. It's a package of nikawa in Japanese. It's some kind of animal product. It comes from whatever ground up bones of cows and horses, or maybe skin bits. I have no idea. It's animal glue. It's marked as being not for food use, so that means maybe there's something in there that's not suitable, a preservative, or there's still bits of hair or something, no idea. It clearly says don't eat it. And then for the alum, we use powdered alum, not powdered alum, we use the little beads. It's called myoban, but not the yaki myoban. It's alum, and it's in small little bead form. We find it difficult. There's a powdered type called yaki myoban. We find it really difficult to control that. Okay, let me get this thing ready, pour it in, and let's get started. I've put enough in there to come up to about here on the brush. If I had dumped all that stuff in there, the brush would just be floating uncontrollable. And as always, we've got the hot carpet on. Even though it's 30 plus degrees here, we want the paper to be thoroughly warmed. So the bench itself is warmed to at least 30 degrees more. The board is warmed. The paper, for sizing this morning, it's been under here since a couple of hours. This paper is now thoroughly warmed. All year long, we follow the same pattern. I wash the brush at the end of it, but I don't wash it so much as to try and get every last little scrap of glue out. Same as with our printing brushes. To me, that damages the brush. To wash it too much is damaging to the brush. So we wash/rinse to try and get the bulk of the junk out of it and then hang it. And you can see the brush, before I put it in there right now, our other brushes, they are still hard. This has got a bit of glue residue still in it. We don't try and wash it out so that it's super smooth, silky, soft. It's just too much wear and tear on the brush. My theory. Other companies, other people will do it a different way, I'm sure. Kubota-san, the printer who we really admire, he soaks his brushes. When he's finished a brush, he throws it in a tub in the sink and lets it float there and sit there for a few hours. Then he washes it out under hot water. And he washes his brushes till the point where no pigment comes out and they are silky smooth. But my God, they get beaten up. The wood gets twisted and soaked and torn. Whatever, different way to do things. Okay. What we have here, this is the paper. The full-size sheets are this large. I have cut them in half for sizing. We do have a brush that fits for one piece, but it's really hard to control. And the printers, for the sake of getting good sizing, I cut them in half. It takes me twice as long, but the work is done quite carefully. This is the paper. This will be for the Rabid Rabbits, the 10th print, the October print in our series this year. So you will see 1, 2, 3, 4 prints come out of this and 4 from the other half. So we get 8 prints from one sheet of paper. Rabid Rabbits. The blocks are ready. Test printing is already underway. We have at the moment 3. We're still printing the August print, the final batch. 2 of the girls are working on a September print, and we've now done test printing on the October print. Okay, almost ready to start. Brush is softening up. You tell me something about the Great Wave print. Don't talk to me about the Great Wave print. We did our August summer update yesterday. Cameron sent out, he hit the go button, and we sent out our mailing list, our summer update. And I thought we were featuring a certain group of prints, and I thought we were featuring another certain group of prints. What happened? The Great Wave mailing list went nuts. Just give me a break. There's been, without exaggeration, nearly 100 people sign up for the Great Wave in the last 12 hours since we put that thing up. Oh, Little Auk, yes. Did I write back to you to say thank you about that? We did pass it around on the stream here. Very useful. Thank you very much. I don't know if I actually, it's probably still in my inbox to write back to you and say thank you. I'm sorry. It was indeed useful. On that website, what is it? hiroshige.co.uk? I forget the exact URL. Really super website. We've been using his information all the time. Very useful website. Okay, we are ready to get going. Let's do this. Let's roll. Okay, we have thick size. It's 60 grams of glue per liter, which makes it thick. This is sticky stuff, and we have today really thin paper. Recipe for disaster. If I go too slowly here, there'll be too much glue. If I go too quickly, there won't be enough. We have to get it just right, Goldilocks. And this is still why I'm the only person here doing this, and this is trouble coming, absolutely. Because I'm good at this, because the printers are happy, we're not delegating the work to anybody else. And the downside of that is nobody else is getting trained to do this. So I don't know, I really don't know. None of the printers want to do it themselves. I've asked all of them, look, work with me for a while. When I'm doing your next batch of paper, come and stand with me. Take a bit of practice. Do that for a year or so, then you'll be able to do your own paper then. And none of them want to do this. They don't want to do this. They just want, hi, thank you very much, give me the paper, I'll get printing. They don't want to do it themselves. But the net result is, again, Dave here at 70 years old is the only guy in the company who knows how to do this. This is not healthy. Same thing over at Adachi, we hear about that. He's now 87 or 88 or 89, I don't know, Isamu-san. He must be in his late 80s. And he, according to what we hear from printers, he's the only guy over there doing the sizing. I think I'm crazy. He's much more crazy. The whole progress of the company based on a job only done by one 89-year-old guy. This is insanity. And yet we're doing the same thing ourselves. Somebody has some thoughts on dealing with the great wave demand. Yeah, right. Are you an accountant? We are dealing with the demand. Just simply get in line. That's all there is to it. Just get in line. The waiting list now is longer than the number of prints we have sold to date. We've sold, as we've mentioned in the last video, we've sold 2,400. We've made 2,400. We haven't sold them. We've made 2,400 and sold about 1,900, rough numbers. And the waiting list now is way longer than both of those numbers. So there's just simply no way that people who put their name on now, it's just clear, there's no way they're going to get one of these prints unless so many people cancel out. Is Shiba-san sizing her own paper? No, and this is another frustration. She's asking me to do it. Next time, there's no way. I'm just not going to say yes. She has got to come here. I'm going to do it together. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. You're talking about the etymology. I don't know where the word size comes from. The origin that Dave here knows about is back in medieval Europe when they were doing things like gold leaf on books and parchments and stuff like that. The gold was held in place on the substrate by something they called size. So size would be put on the leather, whatever gold leaf goes on top, and that holds the gold in place. So that's one part of it. I don't know anything about the history beyond that. I tried that myself. I was, how old was I? I would have been about 22 or 23. The young lady I was living with, a young couple, Romeo and Juliet, 20, whatever years old. She was crazy about Shakespeare. So I found in a used bookstore a book of Shakespeare. I found an old book. It was like some Victorian era book of Shakespeare plays. And it was all broken and smashed. So I took the cover off and tried. I knew nothing about this, and there was no Google to try and look up stuff. I tried binding it myself. Maybe I found a library book explaining what to do or something. and I bound it myself. And then I did some gold leaf. I did lines and a pattern or something. And I think I put her name on or something on the front in gold leaf, you know. I wonder where that is now. She must have it, I guess. And I'm sure it fell apart weeks later because I didn't know what I was doing. And binding a big heavy book is no simple thing. What happened to the autosizer? The autosizer, we did Mark 1 and Mark 2, and we started to build a Mark 3. We used it right here. It did actually work. I know the Mark 1 was chaos. It was just sort of a proof of concept. Mark 1 was just a concept to see if could we dip the paper completely under the surface of the liquid, and would that work? That was what Mark 1 was to do. And we found that it did. After paper had been completely submerged in the liquid and then hung up to dry, it did work. So we went ahead and built Mark II, which we must have done it on the stream here a while, me and Aoyama-san. It did work, but it was unworkable in practice because of the problem of maintenance. Even during a run of 50 or 60 or 70, the rollers got gummy, the ends of the rollers got gummy, the glue just took over the world. There's things like what I'm doing here. I dip this in, I brush it off, and look at this, I brushed it off here, and that meant the liquid rolled down. The next one I'm going to do, I'm going to brush off here, so the liquid rolls down in a slightly different place, and by doing that you don't get a buildup in any one spot. But rollers were rollers, and they just kept putting their glue in exactly the same place each time, and after 10, 15, 20 sheets, the ends of the rollers got completely gummed up, and when you pulled the paper through, it got stuck on the edges. Of course, it could be solved. You could build it so that the rollers slide back and forth like a Heidelberg printing press. You've all seen how those work. So there just came, it could have been done with a huge amount of investment and build a machine, and it would sit here, and so it just wasn't practical to do at small scale at the level we were trying to do it. It was just too much fiddling around. And we really realized that in order to get it to a point where there wouldn't be fiddling, we would have to build something that looked like a car engine or something sitting here, or that looked like a Heidelberg press or something, for doing 60 sheets of paper. Then take it all apart and spend 6 hours cleaning it. It just wasn't practical. It was good fun. We should have got some good video of it while we were using it. But we weren't thinking that far ahead. The parts are all here. All the bits and pieces and parts are all in the drawer here. Human beings, that's what we do. Human beings, what we do. There is the other aspect to the sort of, how do I describe it? The philosophical question, the existential question, whatever in the background. We started to build a machine for doing one part of our job. Okay, that's fine. We thought we had a rationale for that. So why don't we then build a machine? Let's buy lasers, build a machine to do the carving part of our job. Why don't we build a machine to do the printing part of our job? Get a Heidelberg, adapt it, you know what I mean? That's been done the past 300, 400, 500 years. Lots of very smart people have built cool machines to do printing. There's no reason for us to think about doing it like that. Our raison d'etre, whatever, is human skills, learned carefully and using human skills. This is why we do this. So anytime we start thinking about this, how can we improve it? I know I can do that. I can build a machine that can do that. We have to sort of think, don't do that. The point of the exercise is different. Human beings are really good at building machines for stuff. We know that. And here at Mokuhankan, the idea is a little bit different. Well, the discussion here about the great wave, what to do with fly fishes, talks, I can't think of all the details here. Remember, even if I had a brand new set of blocks ready today, even if the next set of blocks suddenly fell from heaven and was sitting here next to me today, it wouldn't change anything. What's the problem for us is printer time. Printer time is our problem. We've started the new blocks. Chong-san is doing the tracing already. He's well advanced on it. We've got wood set aside. The problem is printer time. The other thing about the great wave changeover, if our plan just follows, Chong-san is going to carve a new set of blocks over the next year or so. The current set of blocks will gradually decay a bit more to the point where we think I really shouldn't be selling these. The new blocks will be ready, we'll make the changeover. And we'll tell people, here we are, we've changed over. The new set of blocks isn't what Dave carved. It's up to you if you want it or not, please. There's still lots of demand, so we don't know. But the idea then is the retired set of blocks. It's still sort of okay, way better than Edo era period blocks. But it's still, the mountain is a bit banged up or dinged, or maybe the calligraphy is a bit banged up or dinged, but it still would be a print with character. I mean, the idea is, okay, we switched over Mokuhankan, they're using the new block set, people are buying that, away they go, away they go, away they go. My retired block set, we're looking at 1 year, 2 years in the future. My retired block set comes in, and the idea is here on the table that I myself would then take that retired block set and make some prints with it myself. It would take me a while because I'm not a very fast printer. And I myself I would then be the only printer allowed to touch those blocks. If I had time and felt like it, I'd make a batch of 20 or 30 or 40, whatever. And those would be the first ones made Hokusai, carved by Dave, printed by Dave. And even though that block set by then wouldn't be in perfect condition, I kind of suspect there might be demand for it. And the joke is, well, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. That's perhaps my pension plan. I have no pension, nothing. But that wouldn't be waiting list. That would be the waiting list that we have now would switch over to the Mokuhankan print. People have an option. Get that if you like or not. That new edition that I made from those old blocks, that would be a different project. And I think rather than put it in the catalog, we'd maybe put them for auction, I think. No idea. Anybody counting? We have 30 pieces of paper here. No, 50. Yeah, 30. I took 15 sheets, chopped them in half. So we should have 30 sheets here. And for those of you who are new here, what we're doing is I'm doing the top surface of 30 sheets. once I'm done that, I will flip the stack over and I will do the back side of the same 30 sheets. And then we will move to the next room and I will hang it up. And I guess we could maybe talk about already. It's 8:30 something now. I'm not quite halfway through the brushing side. So this is going to be, I think, a bit of a shorter stream than normal. The room there next door is dark. There's no good light. I can't do a good clear show and tell. The times I've tried there, it's a disaster. So for this stream today, we'll do our sizing here. Move to the next room, hang it up. And then we'll put it to bed. We had a long show and tell on the last stream, so today we'll probably just, I think, skip. There's no light there. Last show and tell, yeah, I'm thinking actually, what's your feedback on this idea? That last show and tell, the ones where we showed the Hiroshige print set, I've only got those prints here for a few more days, and what I was thinking might be a good idea is to head downstairs, sit at my bench, put the camera up and do a good evening, this is Woodblock Print, David blah blah blah, YouTube. Talk a little bit about that print set, show the high quality scans we've got, and then put that Twitch thing into the video. So that the next YouTube video could be Dave's introduction, then we watch that Twitch playback, and then we show the high resolution scans of those prints. So I'm thinking that might be something to do this weekend while I still have those prints, like if I had nothing else to do. But the problem is if I do that, if I paste the Twitch video into a YouTube video, it comes without the chat. I don't have any way to put the chat into there. And maybe that's copyright too. I don't know anything about that kind of issue. Okay, we're going to flip. The paper now, it was face up over there. I put them face up. I brushed the liquid on, the glue on. We flipped it, so the stack is now face down. And they are going to come back now one by one. These are wet sheets of paper now. They're going to come back one by one, and they are now face down. That surface has been rubbed with glue. We're now going to do the same thing on the back. This is embarrassing. Look at this. Corona belly. I'm now over my age again in weight. Last time I checked, when we were doing the FedEx packing last week, we got a new scale. We talked about that. I got a new scale. So I put myself on the scale, 71. I now weigh more than my age again. Hopefully not for much longer. I haven't had a Guinness now in months. We talked about Guinness. That was my beer of choice during the winter. I drink it during the winter. Have a Guinness with dinner because it's really a nice, pleasant part of dinner. But in summer, I can't drink that stuff in summer. In summer, it's time to switch to a lager or a cooler. Can't drink a stout in August. I guess they do in Dublin, I suppose, whatever, but no thanks. It is warm up here. Oh my God, I'm soaked, absolutely soaked. Someone says Dave's about 6 feet. No. When I was coming out of teens, I was 5'11" something. Now I'm 5'10" something, or maybe not even that. I don't know. You go to the hospital. I went a few weeks ago for the eye checkup. I go back every 3 months to do the checkup on my eyes. And the deal. I stand on the scale, do this, do that, do this, do that. So they're tracking my weight, they're tracking my eyes, and she can see my weight going up and my height going down, whatever. Little old guy Dave is getting shorter and shorter. Pretty soon I gotta buy some platform shoes or something. I don't know. It was a shock the first time I recognized that. It must have been, I don't remember, 3 or 4, was it 5 years ago, whatever. I had the hernia operation. I had 2 years in a row. 1, 2. I had a small hernia each time. So it was my first ever hospitalization. It was good fun actually. But we go in there, and as part of the check-in routine, there was this thing, and you stand on the scale, and you stand on this and do this, and they're giving it the whole run-up, blood tests, whatever. And I stood on the thing, and she put the thing on the head, and she read out, in centimeters, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, you've made a mistake, And so she checks it again, says that's the number, and I'm like, no, I used to be. And she's like, sorry, guy, get used to it. Nobody cares about what you used to be. I don't even remember the numbers in centimeters. No, it was good fun. Actually, it was good fun. There was no disease involved. There was no cancer, I'm going to die, whatever. It was a mechanical process. I had a small hernia, which everybody understands. It's a mechanical thing. An area of muscles has become weak. You make a little cut, you tie it up, you put some mesh in, away you go. So there was no threat to life or whatever. It was just simply an interesting experience. As I said, I'd never been hospitalized before. So it was actually good fun. There was no, they do give you an anesthetic before chopping your body open. It was good fun. Mostly. The stand to show, it's because of the heat. We're running video feeds here. This computer is hot. It's really, really hot. So I need air on this thing. And the table itself, the hot carpet. Oh, is Jacques here? Some comment have I missed? I can't catch. Oh, that's right. Jacques did take some pictures of this. Yes, that's right. Thank you, sir. How you doing this morning? Over there in Holland, Netherlands. In all the news in our newspapers these days about coronas and Israel and New Zealand and America and Japan, whatever, I don't see any news about the Netherlands in here. How are you guys doing, Jacques? Are you okay? Are you vaccinated up? Is Holland coming through this? I don't see any news at all, which I suppose means no news is good news. In Japan here, it's getting crazy now. Absolutely getting crazy. Yeah, this is an old MacBook. This is from 2015, and this thing is flying. And today we have 2 video feeds, but usually we have 3 video feeds. This thing has 3 video inputs, and it puts it out. I'm not doing it at 60, though. I don't know what you're saying. I'm not exporting 60 at all. Not at all. I'm exporting 1080 at P, what is it, 29.97, P30, whatever they call it. I'm not exporting 60 frames, no way. I can see the readout. It's 29.97 feet per second, frames per second, feet per second. So if Twitch is giving you 60, then it's simply doubling up. Every second frame is the same thing, I presume. I don't know. I'm not, you may be getting 60 FPS, but I'm not giving it to you. Sorry. Sorry about that, 29 feet per second, sorry. FPS. I don't know if frames per second even makes any sense when we're talking about video encoding. I don't know, but whatever. In the Netherlands, we're doing more or less okay at the moment. I guess that's sort of how we describe it here. You know, I don't know. Here in Mokuhankan, we're doing this more or less okay. I just don't know what numbers to believe out there. No idea. The girl in the restaurant next door, she's pissed off at me now. You know, I upset her. You know the story, they're having parties next door and I am not cooperating with this. I used to go there and get a takeout dinner once or twice a week, but I don't do that now. I'm a bit upset. They're still having parties. So was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago, whatever. I was walking by and she looks inside and she says, you know, hello, hello, and she's like, come on in. I just walked by without responding to her. So I walked by a bit later in the day and she just turned away. So I've lost a friend, I guess, whatever. So, I don't think she knows about that actually. Interesting. Be careful, Dave. She holds your internet cable. She's out there with scissors. Ka-chunk. There's no fight. There's no hostility. It's just whatever. I guess I have become in a way the grumpy old guy. You know, if it doesn't go my way, if I don't get what I want or something, I'm the grumpy old guy. Vivid's saying a little explaining is useful. That's dangerous, Karen said. It means a conversation. And it means I've got to tell her what I think, that she is doing something wrong. There's the accusation of bad behavior. And once it gets to the conversation between that point, that's it. We're done. We're done. Because there's no response. What she would probably say is, look, we're just trying to make a living. And my response is, because you guys are trying to make a living, my business has been closed for a year and a half because of the behavior of you and your customers. So whatever, talking about it is not actually the thing to do. So I'll just keep away from her and she'll keep away from me, and that's the way she's going to go. Enough time goes by, we'll see what happens. She is cute though, it's too bad. They work hard, no argument. A young couple there, they work really, really hard. I get the idea. They've opened a restaurant. They've made a huge investment. They're worried about their business collapsing. So I see the stress at their side. And part of their frustration, of course, is the government here, different levels of government, the national government and the Tokyo prefectural government, have promised different businesses, not mine, but they've promised the entertainment businesses, restaurants and theaters and stuff, they've promised support. But their bureaucracy has screwed this up so badly. There are people who put applications in, I don't even know the facts and figures, half a year ago, they're waiting for nothing. So she would say, look, we're not getting any help. We've applied for it, but nothing is coming. And if we were having a conversation, I'd say, that's really nice, but I don't get any help. I don't even apply. There's nothing for me. Simply my business is dead because your customers are still drinking and partying and fooling around and ending up in a hospital. So there's no resolution, so it's better just leave it. I think the funny one about this, the Japanese government, this is not funny, but it's hilarious. The Japanese government has created now what they call the passport. They've jumped on the passport bandwagon because X number of people here are double vaccinated. They've started to create what they call passports. The idea that Japanese people who want to travel overseas can use these, quote, passports to try and get into other countries. And the story in the Japan Times, this was 3 or 4 or 5 days ago. They finally arranged with 5 countries to accept these passports. And they're countries like Baluchistan, Afghanistan, I don't even know what they are, Iran or something. All normal countries, when the Japanese bureaucracy got in touch with them, okay, let's arrange these passports. The normal countries said something like, okay, good, we'll honor yours and you'll honor ours. Let our people from France come into your country. And Japan said, oh, no, we're closed. No tourists, no foreigners, no business people, nothing, we're closed. So of course these other countries said, blow it out here, whatever. If you're not going to let our people into your country, we're not honoring your stupid passports. And so far they had got 5, as I said, 5 Baluchistan level countries to do this. That's your Japanese bureaucracy, your Japanese way of thinking, totally, absolutely self-centered. Not the slightest conception that the other guy has another point of view or this is going to be a negotiation. Just, here's what I want. Just bizarre. It's on the Japan Times. If you Google it, it's there 3, 4, 5, or 6 days ago. Look for Japanese passport, 5 countries or something, some kind of keyword. Reciprocity. The Japanese are not offering any reciprocity whatsoever. And when you're in the world of international negotiations, reciprocity is something burned into everybody's eyeballs. That's how those things work. I'm laughing about this, but I'm not laughing because the Japanese borders are closed and they're going to be closed now for the rest of my life, maybe. You've read the news from Israel, right? Highly vaccinated, intelligent, healthcare, blah, blah, blah country. And now there's a pandemic wave and people are dying in the streets or whatever. There's no way that the Japanese government is going to open these borders for general tourism. Not in any conceivable near future. Period. Unless there's some magical new vaccine that blows it all away. My business, my shop is doomed. We've now come to realize this. Absolutely. We should have given up the lease on the ground floor. We are an internet business now. Print parties. Don't make me laugh. The shop, the museum we want to open. Forget it. Was my mother here this morning? It is hopeless. It's raining there, really. I think that's what they need, right? There's so many forest fires in that area, so the rain must be a good news over there. When I said dying in the streets, you know what I meant? I meant it's bad is what I meant. It was a euphemism for it is bad. Sorry. There's no literal blah, blah, blah here. Give me a break. 6 different conversations happening at once. Okay, that's our first 30 sheets done. This is the first of a group of batches I will be doing this weekend. Now, those of you who know how this works know exactly what's going to happen now. There has to be a pause in the stream here. The next step will be hanging up this paper in the next room. But to be able to show you that, as you know, I have to disconnect everything now, move over to the next room and restart. And the net connection is the wobbliest part. So let me do this bit by bit. Let me first take the paper over there. Yeah, turn computer mic. Okay, I'll try and remember this. Okay, next step is the main camera is going to go down and the audio. Someone just reminded me, I turned the MacBook audio on and the other audio off. Okay, MacBook audio is now on, camera audio is off. Next step, I'm going to unplug the camera and move that through to the next room. Stand by here. Power. Okay, the final step, and this is the one that's wobbly. We are on a fiber optic connection here, but it's connected to the computer with what is it called, a Thunderbolt plug, and they are really loose. So as I'm walking here, almost certainly the Thunderbolt plug is going to wiggle a bit, the stream will go down. Don't panic, the chat will stay alive. When the stream goes down, it'll come back up in a couple of minutes. See you in a minute here.